Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by PrizePicks. Sign up today for PrizePicks and use that promo code Leading Off when you do. I'm Joey P. That, of course, is the Welsh, and it's you. And we're talking all things fantasy baseball, wagering in baseball, just baseball stuff, and obviously a lot to get to from the weekend's action and a lot of maneuvering, more young players on the horizon making their debuts. You had a little Blade, you had some Mervis in between. Mervis is just a fun word to say. I can't say Mervis enough. It's just a good time. Welsh, you know what else was a good time? Guardians of the Galaxy 3. No spoilers out there. We're not going to spoil. I was so pleased. Jub, baby. Big time Jub. I was so pleased with it. It's very rare I have the high expectations for a movie and I go in and I was actually happier than I thought I was going to even be. Welsh texted me. He's like, how good was this? And I said, I know. It was really the highlight of the weekend for me.
Yeah, 100% the highlight of the weekend for me. Everything else can suck it. Get done with it. It is definitely all about that. It was a great movie. Lots of tear-jerking stuff and just like normal great, Guardian stuff. So it's the Marvel movies always get me, and I loved it, and I had a great time. And I had to meet it because I saw you post something, and I was like, "No, Joe." And I was like, it was before I went to the movie. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to even see what you have to say. And then I text you immediately after the movie because it was.
Yeah, I was not going. I would never spoil. I don't like people who do that stuff. I remember years ago somebody ruined the Force Awakens about Han Solo dying, and I was like, "What kind of jerk are you?" Like, it literally opened yesterday. Like, what is your problem?
There's like one guy who hasn't seen it yet. Like, Joe, what are you doing?
Well, it was the day it happened. It was like the day it came out.
Right now, I'm saying though, but
yeah, I know. I mean, it's just like and I don't even know what became of that guy. He's not even in the industry anymore, and that's why.
Oh, is an industry guy that did it?
Guy, yeah. And I was like, what is
was this like when? Remember when LaShawn McCoy?
It was similar to the Endgame, yeah. Wow. But I mean, that was like, I think we all kind of knew that's where things were going.
What's the guy's name rhyme with?
I honestly, I don't even remember his name. I have to go back and remember what it was, but he was a pretty big deal at one point. Not as big a deal as us, of course, right now. So let's get to the baseball. And go see Guardians Volume 3. It's great. You'll laugh, you'll cry. Amazing soundtrack. Fantastic. You know what else is fantastic? Bryce Miller. Damn it, he's good. 6 scoreless innings on Sunday and a win over the Astros. That is not easy. We talked about this is going to be a tougher test for Bryce Miller, and he passed. He's got 15 strikeouts and 1 walk over his first 12 innings. Not too shabby. Batting average against through those 2 starts, .103. Talk to me.
Bryce Miller. This second start was like a big key to me, except there's still something that just like jumps out to us. So he was phenomenal, but he was all fastball. 71% fastball. Every single whiff. This wasn't a big whiff game, so it's something to consider. Astros, but something to consider. All 8 whiffs came off of his fastball. But check out this mind-boggling number. 37 swings off of that fastball. That's a crazy number just in general. He had 51 swings off of 85 pitches thrown. That's crazy. That is, to the point my buddy Joe Doyle has brought this out, that is like Spencer Strider-esque in how he's doing it. I still hate that it's all fastball, but this start, Baseball Savant was able to reclassify the cutter back into a slider. He threw that 19% of the time. It was pretty good. It's hard. It like bites hard. The fastball has a lot of vertical movement. He's throwing that sweeper just a tiny bit. That was that whole gyro and sweeper thing he's trying to do. So I guess my big question overall is going to end up being like, how effective can a dominant fastball player be in the long term? We saw Eric Lauer do it last year. He had one of the best fastball strikeout rates and everything.
Good run too.
Tapered back. And I don't know how this is going to taper back. He's still learning to throw a third pitch. I mean, essentially 28% of his non-fastballs were a version of a slider, and he's still learning to throw one of those. So I do think there's some bumps in the road, but that fastball is an elite freaking pitch, even though it had only a 22% swinging strike rate and a 27 CSW. It's because guys were just swinging at it every single time. And whether he was missing bats or not giving up hits, he did it again. He's kind of crazy. And he went for, in some places in NFBC this weekend, over 300 in fab. I missed out on him. I put around, what was it, like 215, and he went for 250.
I'm surprised you didn't have him like 3 weeks ago, knowing you're Bryce Miller.
I know. I do have him. I did have him in my Otno keeper league, but I didn't have him in TGFBI or any of the NFBC stuff.
Here's a question for you. Who would you rather have rest of season, Max Scherzer or Bryce Miller?
Oh man. I mean, like I'll easily quickly answer with Max Scherzer just because there's a bigger than a fastball arsenal, but I hate the I don't know how bad this rosin thing is. I mean, I'm kind of intrigued to see where this goes. Kind of play a role in it, but I would go with Scherzer, but I get what you're doing. I get where you're at.
Here's a question here, and I just made a trade for this guy, so I don't want him. I want to get Welsh's take on this one too. Elly De La Cruz is from Razor Ramon. He's stashing him right now because he doesn't want to miss out. I know it hasn't been like gangbusters for him so far in AAA, but he was absolutely lighting up the last two levels in the minor leagues. Elly De La Cruz, do you think we see him in 2023 with the Reds, or you think you get a full year in the minors from him?
Yeah, I know. I think you could see him this year in the Reds. Will it be impactful to your season this year? No, I don't think so. I think this is more probably closer to a September call-up. You still got Matt McLain. See, and I think Matt McLain puts a wrinkle in this because, like you said, Elly hasn't been dominant. Matt McLain has been crazy good. I think they want to see what they have out of McLain. They're going to want to see what they have out of Christian Encarnacion Strand. Those are two hitters. You've also got Noelvi. I don't know if Noelvi would jump Elly. I don't think so. But I just don't think they're going to make that big push because when you do bring up McLain, where are you going to put Elly immediately? You could put him at third. Elly's been playing third in the minors. So yes, I think so. I just don't think it's going to be like half of a season and vying for like some rookie of the year odds or anything like that.
All right, let's keep going with the headlines from the weekend. Right after the show, it seemed like later in the afternoon on Friday, we got this news that Willson Contreras wasn't going to play catcher anymore. Now, he's not going to play outfield either. So, I mean, that kind of puts him in a weird bind. Now he's going to clog up the DH spot. What the hell's going on? Why did you sign Willson Contreras if you didn't want to be a catcher? He's 30 years old. What were the Cardinals thinking about here? This is so perplexing to me. So what do you make of this?
Well, I make that this is going to be a new manager in the near future. Marmol is
starting to feel like that. Marmol's starting to lose it.
Disaster. And what I'm curious about is it like this is like a whole management team of like Succession, I think, behind the scenes that's running this team. But like, did they all agree? Did they all agree like what they're doing is right? Brendan Donovan, they keep just like throwing out there. Jordan Walker is a mess. Their pitchers are a mess. The Willson Contreras stuff is embarrassing. I read it like 4 times and I was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't understand what's happening. What do you mean? What do you mean you're not going to have the catcher catch?
This just pissed me right the hell off because Jordan Walker's the guy that we want to carve out more at-bats for. And now this is a problem for me because now you have really buried him on this depth chart. If Contreras is an everyday DH, then you're really kind of limiting yourself to what's going on here with the rest of the second base situation, the outfield situation. You're not, Arenado is going to play third base. It's not like Walker's going to come and play third. So it's a weird spot here.
You know what's trippy about it too, I think? I'm not a big whole manager has to take, and I'm not even saying baseball manager, like in real life work and stuff. Manager has to be responsible for everybody.
No, in fact, I take way too much heat for what the players do and don't do.
But in this situation, this is the most asinine ever because you had an off season, you had spring training, you had the beginning of the year, and then in May you're just like, yeah, this catcher's not working. Like you have to make this work. This is what he's here to do. This is a catcher who's been catching for a long time, and you publicly go out and be like, yeah, this isn't working. He's not calling the right stuff. Like, how do you let this happen? It's total incompetence, and it really just like it. I don't know. It takes away all the trust in whatever this roster management's going to be. So whatever we think we know, we don't know jack. We don't know jack what this team's going to do because they're wild cards, man.
Ugh, not good. Speaking of a fantasy wild card, how about Eloy Jimenez? Well, he hit a couple home runs. Things looked like they were going in the right direction. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue on the weekend, he's got a side pain. Goes in and it's an appendectomy. So he's going to be out now 4 to 6 weeks to recover. And this is another one. And I started to do some research on this. And I did it over the weekend because I had the Sunday show. And I can't believe how many MLB players have had appendicitis. I read something interesting, which was talking about, possibly linking it to people who bite their fingernails because of all the bacteria. Because basically it's a bacterial issue that happens inside your body. I did a little homework. I did a little WebMD about the appendicitis and all of that. You would think
more pitchers than would maybe have it because of like nail grooming and stuff like that.
Well, but maybe there's a lot of nail grooming going on as opposed to sitting out there in the outfield and biting your nails or whatever the hell.
Wait. Are you legit saying like nail biting is the cause of the?
I'm not saying it. I'm saying there's some discussion about that. There's some discussion about obviously people who dip or eat a lot of, seeds or other things like that. There's really no like one specific cause, but they have found things for certain people, like I should say, reoccurring themes in people, but there's no definitive yet medical evidence, which I thought was fascinating because the appendix is not something we need to live with, but it's something that if you go back, you look at Matt Holliday, Adam Dunn, you go back and look at Francisco Lindor last year, literally every year, I feel like we get 2 or 3 appendectomies in Major League Baseball. And I don't know if I've ever known a human being in my life that has had appendicitis and has had an appendectomy. Do you know one?
No, I don't think so. That's a good.
It's so bizarre, but every year we get like at least 3 of these.
Isn't it weird we have multiple organs that like we just don't need? You know what I mean? Like you don't need an appendix, you don't need a gallbladder. Like why do we have all? I know what they do and stuff like that, but you just don't need them. That's so weird that we have that. Especially that one. And why is that one? I don't see gallbladder issues. I guess that's more probably like a.
I don't know, but I just thought. But here's the thing: at the end of the day, it's another one. Now we're going to miss Eloy Jimenez. So 4 to 6 weeks. This team is already buried. I think the White Sox, I mean, they're almost 10 games under 500. They're buried. I think they're done. If the White Sox were smart, they would start unloading everything. And they, you know what, to their credit, they had the right plan. Sign the young players you have in your system, international signings, do all the right things. And at the end of the day, Robert can't run to first base. He gets pulled from games. You can't blame it on the manager anymore because he changed managers. Eloy Jimenez can't stay on the field. Lance Lynn looks like, he is. I mean, yesterday was better, but if I'm the White Sox, I just start moving pieces. They've done everything right and it just hasn't worked out. Yeah.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it for at least a month. You won't see them do anything. Liam Hendricks is coming back. They're going to celebrate that, and they're going to try to keep winning. They've buried all their prospects for guys like Hanser Alberto. I mean, that's not going to happen. They are going to fight tooth and nail until they get appendicitis, and they are going to try to win these games, and they're not going to sell off. And that's what's wild. That's what's so wild about this whole situation. They ain't going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. There was another one here, Trevor Williams, 2 years ago, appendectomy. Like if you put Jason Hayward, appendectomy, like I'm literally just put in appendectomy MLB player, Clint Frazier, Eloy Jimenez. Like you could just go down this list.
What's the percentage of like? I would love to know the percentage of MLB players that have had an appendectomy versus just like
it's just bizarre.
I don't know. Another sector of the public.
I don't know. It's a very weird thing. JP France. I see a lot of people in the chat talking about this. 5 shutout innings for him against the Mariners. Are we chasing JP France, Welsh?
Yeah, JP France ended up having and registering, I believe, 4 of 5 pitches, kind of like we talked about with Bobby Miller, all 100 plus stuff plus across the board. So there's this really funny, dumb article that was put out about JP France that was citing Zach Greinke back in the day where I'm trying to remember where the article was, but it was like Greinke in his classic Greinke tone was just like, yeah, I really like what the Astros do because like they'll just take these guys that are not prospects and stink, and then they'll just bring them up, and then they're just good, and then they're just great again, and they know what they're doing, even though these guys stink and are not good pitchers. And that's kind of like how I view JP France. Great stuff plus across the board. He's definitely suitable, great offensive support there. He's a streamy guy. He's a total streamy guy.
All right, let's talk about this one. This is a good question here from Uncle Ted Talks. Bailey Ober, who had a good start this weekend, or Dane Dunning rest of the season. Who would you rather have? I'm going Ober.
I would go with Ober too, but Dane's been pretty good.
Dunning's a guy that I would want on my roster. And we kind of touched on that earlier. I said, look, with all these guys, Nady Eovaldi, Andrew Heaney, Jacob deGrom, a Dane Dunning share in a deep league is a smart bench play because at some point that dude's going to have to make some starts. And here we are. Ezekiel Tovar, by the way, went 3 for 4 with 2-run homer. He's starting to hit a little bit. Miguel Vargas, after a slow start, starting to hit a little bit too. We're starting to see some of these prospects heat up, which is a good thing. The bad things, the injuries, Jose Suarez. Now, this could be a blessing in disguise for the Angels. I don't know. I don't want anybody to get hurt, though. But he departed after giving up 7 runs in 2 2/3. Obviously, it's been a bad season. Perhaps this is what's been going on with him, but he left with an injury, so more to come on that. I'm sure he's going to the IL. JD Martinez is going to get live at bat, so he should be back theoretically at some point this week. Graham Ashcraft was removed after a terrible start. He took a line drive off the leg, so it was just kind of like, get this kid out of here. I want to ask you about Ashcraft because I'm getting a lot of questions about him lately. He is not a guy that jumps off the page to me. He is not in the same class as the Green Lodolos in terms of pitching prospect, but I feel like everybody's been loving him. If you
he was put in that in the offseason, by the way.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly disagree with it when you look at the minor league numbers. Like, he is not dominating at the minor league levels to me, But what do you think about Ashcraft? Is that somebody that you're looking to acquire here, or you think this is a guy that you just kind of stay away from in 2023?
No, I'm pretty indifferent about it. He definitely has one of the characteristics of a guy that when you take him off of his team and put him somewhere else, like you could dream big about him.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the love has to do with his insanely big fastball stuff plus. He rates very high on excuse me, on stuff plus in general. And I think he was like second or third on the year in stuff plus. And his fastball is huge. And I think that's what a lot comes from it. But he's in a horrific pitching environment. I mean, I can't get Lodolo over right now. He looks like garbage. Hunter Green has been okay, but Ashcraft has an under 20% K percentage, a double-digit walk percentage right now. And it's great that his fastball, spin and velo is up, but everything else is not great. And the low K numbers don't do anything for me. So if he were on if you were like on the Mariners, and that would be something that might be exciting. That might be able to tap in, but he's also just not striking out guys with this really great fastball. So I don't consider him in that top run, but many did consider the big three being Ashcraft with Lodolo and Hunter Green. And Hunter Green's been the only really serviceable one.
Yeah. All right. Some Braves notes. A lot of them. Max Fried might not make a scheduled start on Wednesday against the Red Sox, so that's not great. Also, in the I told you so category, unfortunately, Vaughn Grissom sent down to AAA as soon as Orlando Arcia was ready to come back, and was not good for Vaughn Grissom. The minute that extension happened with Arcia, a player that nobody in their mind thought was going to get any sort of extension in April, getting into the season. That was all you need to know about what the Braves thought of Vaughn Grissom. And you have to follow the money. I know people don't want to do this. They always want to think every prospect's going to hit immediately or be the thing. But follow the money, because I feel like, Welsh, the more often you do that, you're going to be right. And they showed you. They basically told you what they thought. And at least for the short term, that Vaughn Grissom was not in their plans. Now Arcia is back. Is that somebody you would add if he was floating on the waiver wire?
If you were desperate, I don't know. I think there's a lot of shortstops out there. Arcia, I would be semi-interested in. Probably not in 12-team leagues, a little bit bigger leagues. I would look for him. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you kind of on the Grissom front. I do think they just need to pull the plug and do this outfield thing. They've also played their hand before, and they were going to take him off of that middle infield. So maybe just try that out. But he wasn't hitting, and he doesn't have a shortstop gig for the future where they want to play it out. So it's a bad look. And they brought up Braden Shoemake, who is not a good hitter, but defensively is just better than Grissom. So I really think what I'd like to see when he's sent down is they immediately throw him into the outfield. Stop with the middle infield stuff. You clearly will never play him there with Shoemake and Arcia back. So just make that move. And I actually think that would be a decent sign for the future for Grissom.
I agree. This is a great time to buy low if that move happens. Here's a question from Craig Johnson. What's up with Joey P's draft darling Jimenez? Thinking of buying low on him. I would. Andres Jimenez is still a good player. It's 1 month. He's not losing any job. I'm absolutely buying low on him. The Astros, a lot of notes from the Astros. So Jose Urquidy could return somewhere around the All-Star break. Fingers crossed. Luis Garcia, though, Tommy John surgery, he's done for the year and for next year. Chas McCormick is going to be back today for the opening. Jose Altuve, by the way, he is starting to do more baseball activities, taking grounders. He's running, so he's looking more like a mid-May return. So that's exciting news. So good and bad from the Astros, but they got to figure out this pitching situation. And hallelujah, Tyler Glasnow, 2 1/3 scoreless innings on Friday. Maybe we'll get another rehab start this week. Perhaps we get Glasnow back coming through. What is Tyler Glasnow's value in Dynasty? He's still south of 30. He is still, when last we saw him dominating, absolutely dominating at the major league level. It's a good pitcher environment. Are you investing or feel good about any investments when it comes to Glasnow long term?
It's a really interesting question. I'm actually working on updating my dynasty. I'm going to have my dynasty rank updated for this month today. And that's a really, really tough one. I actually think that 80 to 100 range, there's a few pitchers that sit in there that are just really, really tough based on age, the youth. You look at guys like Tyler Glasnow versus a Ricky Tiedemann. I think that's a little bit difficult. Tiedemann has all the big future upside, all the starts ahead of him, but he hasn't gotten there yet. Tyler Glasnow, coming off of injury, is a worry, but the guy's young enough that he could still have 3 to 5 more extremely, extremely good years. And he was a huge strikeout option. So I think Tyler Glasnow is a good buy, only in that, I think someone held on to him long enough that I don't think they can value the upside of where he can end up getting to. But I think he has to be valued in the probably 75 to 100 range, somewhere in there into that spot. And hopefully you're taking a risk with an injury.
But the upside is top 10.
Upside is top 10 SP, inside the top 50, somewhere in that type of range. So that's why, I think he could be a decent
especially as these changing of the guard is starting to happen. Like, you're starting to see the Scherzers and the Verlanders, all that's, we're all moving towards that. Like, this is a younger crop of pitchers now coming up, the Striders and the Gallons and these guys. It's the changing of the guard, and Glasnow could be part of that, but he's got to make 30 starts one of these years in order to be there. 3 up and 3 down from the weekend. Paul Goldschmidt, 4 for 5, 3 homers, not too shabby yesterday. And they pounded. Yeah, I mean, geez, they pounded on the Tigers. Nady Eovaldi, our favorite buy low early in the season. Man, oh man, he's even good. 8 scoreless innings for him. Rangers just pwned the Angels. And then Fernando Tatis, 2 homers off Clayton Kershaw on Friday. Not too shabby there, too. The downs, Kyle Finnegan blowing a save. What else is new? Graham Ashcraft, again, 8 earned runs, 1 2/3 innings. Gross. And Martin Perez, 7 earned in 3 2/3. Welsh, it's that time of the show where we look forward a little bit to some prize picks. And I want everybody out there to go pick some prizes. Go to prizepicks.com or just download the app. Use that promo code leading off and get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Welsh, what is on tap for the prize picking today?
All right, let's pick those prizes. I actually thought about doing a haters ball, and I might start doing that for Mondays and just start having the haters pick them, where we play all unders, because I found one under I really like, and that's at the top of my board today. And I'm going with CJ Cron under 6.5 points. Mitch Keller has just been a dude, so I am all about Mitch Keller today. And I am I was looking for really any Rockies that I could pare down, and he was the one that was staring me in the face. I didn't dig deep enough to play the full haters ball so I could do all unders, but my other 2 plays, Mitch Keller, I'm going with 5.5 strikeouts over, and Shane McClanahan, 6.5 strikeouts over. I say it that I like a lot of strikeout props today, so it'll probably be a disaster of a day.
Just hit all the unders, everybody.
But I like a lot of the strikeouts, and I'm pairing those 2 with the hating on CJ Cron.
Yeah, there you go. Look at this. Look at this. Razor Ramon playing some So Rare. We're going to get to that in a little second, too. I'm telling you, go out there and try it. It's really
51st and So Rare. That's great.
51st. Look at Razor go. And Razor's crushing it today, because he also said he had an appendectomy. So now I know somebody. So Razor is just a full contributor to the program today. Good on you, Razor. Love that you're here every day live with us.
Congratulations on losing your organ.
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean he's a little lighter. Who knows how much that thing weighs? It's holding you down. Hunter Brown, only 5 pitcher strikeout, going over on that one. Hunter Brown, come on. Jose Ramirez, 8 hitter fantasy score, and got a 7.5 on Wander Franco. I'm going over on that bad boy too. When it comes to the betting world, again, bettingpros.com/leading off. That's the price to go here. I've got a 3-leg parlay for you today. It's using the heavily favored Yankees, because Cortez against the stupid A's. And then you've got the Tampa Bay Rays. You've got McClanahan against Kyle Gibson. Now, Kyle Gibson is capable of ruining this. I'm well aware. Like those annoying, look at Kyle Gibson striking out 8 guys and looking great in 8 innings kind of starts. And then going heavily on Zach Gallen. So if you put the -210 with the -205 with the -178, you get plus 243. So it's a 2.5 to 1 shot here. It's a good day. You can make a nice investment on that. Overs for me, Zach Gallen, 6.5 strikeouts. I'm going over Brown. I already mentioned that in prize picks. Over 5.5. You're getting a good number. And I'm investing in Gleyber Torres against the A's today. I think this is a good spot for him. 0.5 RBIs. Let's go the over. You're getting plus money there. On the total basis, you're getting plus money. So check those out at Betting Pros. Welsh, what do you got in the betting world today at MLB?
Well, 3 guy I have for you are all props, and I don't have anything else. I do have one. I'll tell you I'm thinking about right now, but I've got Zach Gallen strikeouts over. I'm going with you, 6.5. Tanner Bybee strikeouts 4.5 over. God, I love that one. And Mitch Keller strikeouts 5.5 over. If you want to parlay any of them, you can. They're all juiced in kind of different degrees. The Bybee Keller one is kind of speaking to me to put those 2 together. I like those. Here's what I'm contemplating. I don't know which side I want to play. The Chicago White Sox team total runs through the first 5 innings is at 2.5. It's even money. This is versus the Royals. Or do I play the over? These teams over the last 3 games combined are averaging 10 runs given up through the first 5 combined. So I haven't decided, do I want to play the over through the first 5 or the White Sox team total runs? They're scoring 7 runs through the last 3 games per game through the first 5. So that is kind of my logic attacking that game somewhere.
Wonky Penguin is being honest, and I love this. I love an honest penguin at the end of the day. Wonky says, someday I want to tell you all how I pronounce so rare up until very recently. It'll make you question whether or not I can even read. So there you go. That's from Wonky right there. And speaking of so rare, go check out. I'm telling you, it's a cool thing. Go check it out right now. So Rare MLB. If you like fantasy, if you like cards, you open the packs, you get your team, you buy, you sell, you scout, you do all these things. You go to fantasypros.com/collect. Again, fantasypros.com/collect. You sign up for free and you start playing. It's a cool way to play fantasy baseball, and you own your players. You have your cards, and they're going to be yours. Whether you win or lose, you can continue to go and you can buy other ones. You can go and trade with other people. It's really neat. It's different. It's fun. It's baseball. So Rare MLB, the next era is yours. So go check that out today. A little DFS action for everybody too. Hunter Brown, again, I'm just staying on the bandwagon, 9.6. He is a lot less expensive than Zach Gallen and Shane McClanahan. But again, you're paying more for those guys because you're getting the premium upside and a good matchup too. Tony Gonsolin, if you want to go Oppo here, this is a big Oppo play. It's really cheap. It's 8.8. So if he has a decent strikeout total against a struggling Brewers offense on the road here against Freddie Peralta, like Peralta is the more expensive pitcher of these two by far. But if Gonsolin ends up, pitching well above and they go out there and, Peralta has an off night or something like that, Gonsolin could be one of these Oppo plays that could be very interesting. San Fran, Arizona, New York, those are the stacks you're looking at. Gleyber Torres, 2.8, Volpe, 2.7, the top of that lineup. And an ex-Yankee, Miguel Andujar for the Pirates. If he's in the lineup tonight, 2.1K. He's come up and he's hit a little bit as well. Welsh, let's take a look at the home run board, shall we? And for everybody who doesn't know still, we're in a new month. So we're giving away new prizes here for the month of May. If you haven't already, go to fantasypros.com/chat, join our Discord for free, and premium members get to make home run calls and win fabulous prizes like this signed autographed Corbin Carroll personalized helmet we're going to give. Prime time's up at the top of 15. Zerto at 13. Razor Ramon, look at Razor's up at 12. He's flying up there because he has no appendix. I told you it makes him lighter. BHB Daddy at 12. Callison at 12. And we got some other folks at 11. I am over. Shohei Ohtani dogged me this weekend. What? Oh, I got Offered Otani'd. So, Welsh, why don't you pick some home runs first today? Because I don't know. I'm struggling here. I caught your disease. That's what I caught.
Yeah, well, I'm passing it on to you. It's like The Ring. I made you watch a video for 5 minutes, and now you have it. And I mean, I didn't get any homers this weekend. Trout was troutless, so I've got to swim in a different pond here. I'm going to go with Julio.
Got Trouted and Otani'd. Ugh.
I'm going to go with Julio
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Runs for a weekend from those two guys? How do we do
I know,
that?
that's what we did. But I'm going to go with Julio. You might even hear him in the trade video. Actually, it doesn't work out so great when I talk about a player because everybody wants to get rid of him. And then after I'm done writing and recording and send it, he then hits a homer. So it's like, oh, crap, everybody's back.
That just means you were right. That just means you were right.
But no, that I recorded it
while the iron's hot.
He hit that homer on Sunday. But I'm going to go with him. I think there's a lot of underlying stuff that's working in his favor. Start to pick it up a little bit. So give me Julio tonight for my home run call. Who do you got?
The Peanuts and Cracker Jacks are speculating on the pronunciation of So Rare that Wonky thought it was. So
I am kind of dying to know what was it.
It's a French game. You play Sorare with your baseball cards. You play with the baseball cards and you go back and forth. It is very nice to play the Sorare.
It has to be Sorare.
It has to be Sorare.
That
sounds like something Scooby-Doo would say. Sorare? Baseball.
You had to queue up the first 4 letters together, so that's where it had to have gone for her.
Wonky.
Solari. That's what I'm going to say. Solari. It was what Wonky was thinking.
There you go. Way to go, Wonky. Way to put the time in extra for the sponsor of the show. Also, for me, home run pick it today. I'm going to go with Jose Ramirez. It's a good opportunity. I've gone with Ramirez before, and he is not delivered for me. Yeah, I mean, where is my Jose? So from one Jose to another Jose, it's time. Joey P needs a home run. So please, can we do this? Trent wants me to do the entire show in a French accent, which would be painful.
We got a lot of accents for you to do a whole show in. I got to
it's the versatility at the end of the day. Also, we got a lot of hits and a lot of messages privately about how much people enjoyed our Matt Harvey retirement moment.
Yes, the video is out there. Yes, I don't know if Fantasy Pros put it out, but
I put it out there. It got retweeted on the MLB account, but if you missed it on Friday, the musical endeavor of the Matt Harvey video, so good, So good. Welsh and myself. Also, Welsh and myself this week are going to be doing a little betting video over at Betting Pro. So if you haven't subscribed over there, you should. We're going to do some stuff about ladder betting, some no-run first inning stuff, and a couple other looks at some other things. So if you're still somebody who's finding their way through that world, it's going to be a good show. We're going to record that this week. We'll let everybody know when it's done. So good times there. And we're great to see Welsh here after not seeing you for a couple days. I missed you. I missed you so long.
Jub, jub.
I know. It's been a long time.
Joe.
Jub. Yeah, it's funny. Like that was when you said it again, I hadn't thought of that since. And now everyone's wondering what the hell are they talking about who hasn't seen the movie. Even if you're not a big Marvel person or you like superhero stuff, it's kind of hard not to like Guardians. Guardians does kind of stand alone as its own thing. You know, by the way, did you see the Guardians Christmas special with Kevin Bacon?
Oh,
that was
of course
very
we
funny.
did. Of course we did.
Oh,
And there's
so
references in it. I will tell you the opening sequence in this movie is my all-time favorite. Maybe in any, it's probably because of the song choice I loved as well, but it was a phenomenal opening song choice, especially for the Guardians. So yeah, go and check it out.
It's great. Enjoy. 5 stars. It's so nice to enjoy something. We went like the 9:15 movie too. We did the breakfast movie. Had some pounds of breakfast sandwiches and some coffee. Boom. Went to the movie. The rest of the day. It was great.
I went to the 11 one and we were standing by. They have a bar at there, and the bartender was like active, and she was like, "Hey, what do you guys want?" And I was like, "It's 10:45 a.m." I'm like, "I don't want anything. What are you talking about? We're just standing here. Why would you have the bar open that early?"
Because you can.
I guess you can. I guess.
Hey, man,
that's crazy.
You know, who knows? Maybe we'll people up for the night before. Anyway, that'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. We'll be back again tomorrow for more. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy your Monday.